moves prices lower or higher? Sino ba yung nagpapataas ng presyo ng isang bilihin, pataas or pababa? So, yung buyers and sellers are the only ones who pushes prices higher or lower. Sila yung nagdidictate ng presyo. They are only driven by intent to buy or to sell depending on the current market state or yung belief nila on that certain asset. Kung undervalued ba to or overvalued. So, yun, may two types of buyers, may two types of sellers. Meron tayong aggressive buyer or active buyer na makikita sa market. Meron ding defensive buyer or passive buyers. Meron naman tayong makikita sa market na aggressive sellers or active sellers and defensive sellers or also known as passive sellers. So ano ba yung ginagawa nila sa presyo or sa markets, no? So yung mga aggressive buyers, sila yung taga-push ng presyo pataas kasi ang tingin nila undervalued tong asset na to or tong stock or crypto na to. Ngayon, if yung buyer is ang tingin nila na dapat mas mura tong presyo ng bagay na to, ng asset na to, ng crypto na to or stock na to, ang ginagawa nila, they buy defensively at lower price levels. They bid. Nagbibid sila sa lower price levels. So, sila yung nagsusuporta sa presyo. Ngayon naman, sa sellers, meron tayong makikitang mga aggressive or active sellers. Ngayon, itong mga sellers, if umangat yung presyo, and ang tingin nila is overvalued or expensive na yung bagay na to, or yung asset na to, they will push prices lower due to aggressive selling. They will sell down their holdings or their shares or units of crypto. So, sila yung aggressive sellers. Sila yung nagpapababa ng presyo. Ngayon naman, yung mga defensive sellers, if ang tingin nila is papunta na sa fair value yung presyo ng isang asset or isang crypto, they will sell at a profit selling defensively at higher price level. So, binebenta nila on the ask side sa order book. So, tapos na natin i-discuss yung two types of buyers and two types of sellers. And kung sino ba talaga yung nagpapagalaw ng presyo pataas or pababa. So, yun, no, basic lang, economics, law of supply and demand lang. And kailangan natin itong balikan. So, firstly, law of demand muna tayo. Perspective ng buyer. So, sinasabi dito ng law of demand na the higher the price of an item, the fewer the demand. So, basically, sinasabi lang na pag mas mataas yung presyo ng isang bagay, mas umuonte yung buyers na itong bagay na to. Kasi perceived na expensive, diba? Mas mahal or mahal yung bagay na yun. And law of demand states that the lower the price of an item or a good or a service, the higher the demand. Kasi perceived as cheap yun or mura. Ngayon, dito naman tayo sa perspective ng sellers, in which yun yung sinasabi or dinidiscuss ng law of supply. So, sinasabi dito na the higher the price, the higher the supply. Ibig sabihin lang nun, sellers want to sell at a higher price. Kasi syempre, di ba, pag seller ka and mas may benta mo at a higher price, mas malaki yung kita mo. And ayun, law of supply states that the lower the price, the lower the supply. Syempre, mas pangit na magbenta at a lower price. Bababa yung profit margin mo or yung revenues mo, di ba? So, ganun lang kasimple. Law of demand and then yung law of supply. Okay, ngayon, kung pagsasamahin natin yung law of supply and demand, it states that when demand falls and supply rises, price falls. Ibig sabihin lang nun na umuonte yung buyers, tumataas yung supply, and then dumadami yung sellers, bumabagsak yung presyo. Ganun lang siya kasimple, di ba? Ngayon, it also states that if demand rises and supply falls, doon umaangat yung presyo ng isang bagay or ng isang bilihin. Ibig sabihin lang nun na mas madaming buyers versus the sellers, di ba? So, yun yung foundational concept of law of supply and demand. So, ngayon, kung i-apply naman natin yung concept of supply and demand sa markets, dito papasok yung concept of support and resistance. So, sinasabi dito na yung support and resistances serves as a guide of perceived value and premium areas. So, yung support are areas of demand. Ibig sabihin, mas madaming buyers at this area dahil area of value tong presyo na yan or yung price area na yan. perceived cheap din yan since meron kang reference price points in which doon nag-reverse yung presyo, di ba? Next is yung resistance. So, yung resistance naman are areas of premium and ito yung magiging area of supply. Dadami yung sellers at this point, di ba? Kasi perceived expensive siya. Meron kang reference price areas in which doon din nag-reverse yung presyo. So, yan. Ito yung basic concept of support and resistance. So, yun. Balikan natin yung concept of law of demand and supply, no? So, law of demand. So, sinasabi ng law of demand na if mura yung isang bagay or isang asset, mas madaming buyers. And if mahal yung isang bagay or isang asset, mas umuonte yung buyers. Then, vice versa naman. As a seller, law of supply, if mas mahal yung isang bagay or nagmamahal yung isang bagay, mas attractive magbenta. Mas dadami yung kita mo as a seller. Ngayon, if mababa naman yung presyo or nasa cheap levels yung presyo ng isang bagay or ng isang bilihin, mas hindi attractive magbenta, 'di ba? So, yun yung applied law of supply and demand. Dito papasok yung support and resistance. Ngayon, what if i-break naman ng presyo yung area of premium or yung resistance? So, 'di ba yung price is reflective of demand and supply. So, it dictates that mas malakas na yung demand versus the supply, 'di ba? Mas malakas yung buyers versus the sellers. Ngayon, ang mangyayari diyan is magkakaroon ng change of character. And yung change of character, nangyayari yan when there are break of structures. So, ito yung structure natin, 'di ba? Ito yung price range natin sa chart na to. Ngayon, if mag-break yung presyo above the area of premium, it indicates na yung stronger driving force is committed in finding the fair value of an asset. Ibig sabihin lang nun na ang tingin ng buyers is cheap area na to, tong 320 USDT na yan versus Ethereum. So ngayon, yung change of character, yung dating resistance will now turn into support. So bullish change of character yung nangyari. Yung buyers are now stronger than sellers. Yun. So, babalikan natin yung diniscuss doon sa philosophy ng auction market theory, which is yung state of balance and imbalance. So, sinasabi lang dito na yung market is always oscillating between a state of balance and imbalance. So, ano ba to? Yung state of balance are areas in which buyers and sellers agree on a fair value of an issue or an asset. Whereas, states of imbalance are states in which the buyers or sellers disagree on the fair value. Yun. So, whoever is stronger dictates the next area of value. So, eto, imbalance, mas malakas yung sellers versus the buyers. Ngayon, once na nag-sideways yung presyo, it states that yung market is in a state of balance. Ngayon, kung makikita natin dito, yung imbalance is between the buyers and sellers in which mas malakas yung buyers, di ba? So, yun. So, yun, it states that the market oscillates between trending states during states of imbalance and non-trending states during states of balance between buyers and sellers. So, dyan papasok yung trends, no? Yung uptrend, downtrend, and sideways. So, during non-trending states, dyan nagsa-sideways yung presyo. May balance between the buyers and the sellers. And during trending states, uptrending, may state of imbalance. Ibig sabihin lang nun na yung buyers are stronger than sellers. So makikita din natin dito na may another trending state tayo in which downtrending naman. Ibig sabihin lang nun na sellers are stronger than buyers. So ganun lang siya kasimple, di ba?